you are writing a business plan, never forget to think of things in the simplest terms. A business plan has one and only one primary purpose: to make somebody money. The person who's sitting across from you is the person whom you are trying to convince to lend you lots of money. So, my perspective is based on 20 years, or more in fact, of having run and started my own business successfully enough that I was in a position to retire early. Now, if you have a company or a lender like a bank or other corporate sponsor, they're going to tell you that, oh, we're here to support the community, we're here to do the right thing, we're here to help the environment, and this may be true, but their primary purpose is the same as yours. As I mentioned, everyone wants to make as much money as possible in as short a time frame as possible with, key point, as little risk as possible. We're going to come back to this. So every business plan, based on what I can tell you from 20 odd years of real world experience, has got a couple of things that you need to consider putting in. Please use this information in conjunction with what your good teachers teach you in your business courses. You have to be able to get to the point quickly. As the police say, just the facts. I strongly suggest that you always consider grouping your business plan in 3 sections. There will be a best case scenario, there will be a worst case scenario, and there will be the most likely scenario. Which is to say that you give them the most likely realistic scenario and the most ideal case scenario which is likely to eventuate. Everybody, if you think about trying to convince a customer, always subscribes to the same radio station, even if you do not listen to the radio, even if you limit yourself to technology and YouTube, which is fine, or Instagram. Think about the last time you drove in the car. The radio is usually on and everybody, regardless of whether they know it, subscribes to the same station worldwide. Because we are human beings, everybody subscribes to a station called WIIFM. What's in it for me? At the same time, the banker whom you are trying to persuade with your business plan to lend you $1 million or whatever it is to capitalize your company is sitting across the table thinking, how is this person's ice cream company or semi-legal pharmaceutical business going to make me $1 million without risk? You're also thinking, how can I get this person to lend me $1 million so that I don't have the risk of losing $1 million? If you think you can just sit across the table and say to them, well, yeah, I know a little bit about trucking, so I think I'm going to start a business. How about lending me $20 million so I can go out and buy stuff? What do you suppose the reaction is going to be? You have to be able to present numbers. So there are 2 major pieces of documentation that you always present. One is the profit and loss statement. Depending on what country you're dealing with and how the accountants like to phrase it, this is also known as the income statement. Usually, a projection is going to be valid if we give it at least 1 year, maybe 2 of lead time. So for example, if this is today, this is right now, we're going to the future 1-2 years. And you describe to your audience using spreadsheets and graphs and so on, exactly how far your business is going to look. At 1 year, is it going to be profitable? What are you going to own? At 2 years, what is it going to look like? There will be a difference. Anything much beyond 2 years becomes a little bit questionable. Trying to tell the future that far in advance, most people don't really care about. There's no past, of course, because it's a new business, unless you're buying a business, but that's another story. The other thing that you have in addition to the profit and loss statement is the balance sheet. Balance sheets, like everything else, are divided into positive and negative territory. You either own something or you owe something. So, the stuff that you own, things that your company right now owns or has bought. Things that you owe, which is mostly in the beginning of a life cycle of a company, the loans, the stuff that you owe to somebody, and the stuff that you nominally own. Could be your equipment, could be your building, could be a lot of things. Could be the stuff that people owe you. These are called accounts receivable. All of things add up together and they must equal the liability side. So you have assets and liabilities. If these do not add up, you have what we call a problem. There is a third sheet called the cash flow sheet, which is not commonly or expected to be used all the time, which may be a subject of a future video. If you have both of these statements here, which is your profit and loss and your balance sheet, you are good to go. When you are submitting your business plan, you want to make it easy to read, because imagine again, always looking at it from the point of view of the other person, the one you're trying to convince, he or she who has the money. This person doesn't have a lot of time to waste. Like a job interview, they want you to cut the crap and get to the point. Always place at the beginning of your business plan a short snapshot called the executive summary. Even if you are not asked for this, I strongly suggest that you put this in no more than one page, right to the point. And when you are presenting your information, keep it nice and easy to read. It's a good idea, like website design, to make it easy to read. Break up your morsels into short points separated by lots of white space. After all, would you prefer to read something that looks like this or something that looks like this? This is a lot easier to read because it has headings and it has pretty colors and it even has a logo and it has little graphics. Picture's worth 1,000 words. Would you rather write 1,000 words? Because I can tell you sure as hell, the banker, whose time is valuable, does not want to read 1,000 words. Keep it to the point. Be frank and straightforward. Present your best case scenario and your worst case scenario. You will get the credit and the benefit of the doubt for being a realist who called it as it is. And ultimately, what a person really wants who's considering lending you $1 million of their institution's money is, can I trust this person? If they feel that you will tell them the good and the not so good up front, you are more than halfway to having your business plan accepted.